Cadril looked great on the Corki as well, looked really strong when they got towards those later game parts. Remember, game one was so back and forth between the two, as Schalke would eventually end up backdooring after a slightly failed Baron play earlier on in the game.
Do still have the top lane counter pick here for Schalke as well, which has been a point of contest in all of the drafts. Sejuani taken away by Schalke. Mysterious Monkeys will remove the Jax from the board.
That means no top lane counter for them anymore. Might draw Schalke up to that Na pick for themselves. Now, will Schalke also pick up something like the Gragas? Because Elise is now gone. This would scream heavy disengage if they are able to pick up a Gragas alongside the Janna, because of how consistent Janna and Gragas can actually be at deterring fights.
Well, we're going to see a new jungler in this series as well. Gragas is the probability here for Schalke, but that means we won't have a jungler that Mysterious Monkeys have already played still left on the cards. You're looking at that sort of second tier now for MM.
You're looking at the Rek'Sais of the world for Amazing, if that's the route that he wants to go for it. Zac is available. Like, Zac is still an S-tier jungler, and he is still there, but you don't want to play it into a Janna, into the likes of a Tristana, and you don't want to play a Rek'Sai there either, which leaves Amazing with very few options. We might see a Nidalee come out as an aggressive playstyle. Maokai is another one.
Could be the Rek'Sai as well, of course, one of his most played across the split. 5 games on it thus far. But it is going to be the Maokai. So he's just working his way down his most played, and Maokai is the next on that list. Camille was locked in for the top lane here for Kikis. We don't have the Jax answer, but Schalke do still have the counter pick for top lane.
Go look at where they might go on this. If they want early game, Renekton or Shen. Shen wouldn't necessarily provide the early game, but provide the side lane. Renekton would be the early game. So Shen finally sees play in this series. Saw a lot of bans in the previous games, but upset with the safety of Smitty J. The Shen stand united. Cadril, the same kind of thing, with an Ardent sensor support. The first one of this series seems very similar to what Schalke lost to against RB, the only time they lost.
And this is much more a Schalke composition that we have seen recently.
Yeah.
Give Upset something he can carry on. Give Cadril something that carries but is safe in the mid lane, and everyone else facilitates them. It's all about being able to get Upset to a position where he can 1v9 the rest of the game. And then you look at Mysterious Monkeys, they have a strong split pusher in the form of Camille for Kikis. They've got great zone control. They have this strong AD carry for Yuki that also scales up into the late game. This is the matchup, the butting of heads of the two lineups that we really expected and wanted to see coming into this series.
Very interesting draft for Game 5. Couple of counter matchups picked up here. Of course, the Alistar counter pick by the Janna. Very, very tough matchup for that Alistar. So don't be surprised to see Yuki and Dreams sit back in that matchup. Try and just push, but you won't get too far against a Tristana and a Janna in that laning phase.
Game 5, the decider. The single best of one that you must win to go to the winner's bracket of the promotion tournament, to be one series win away from the LCS. Both these teams want it desperately. And in the next 30 minutes or so, one of them will prove to be the victor.
Mysterious Monkeys, after getting to the LCS last split, first split unfortunately dropped back down to the promotion tournament, unable to get enough results to keep themselves afloat. Schalke, couple of blemishes on their record. The initial relegation from LCS, the defeat in playoffs in the Challenger Series, the unexpected defeat to Misfits Academy, who 3 members of which stand before them in this very game, potentially to deny step 1 of getting through the promotion tournament. But this is an open playing field. Mysterious Monkeys, Schalke null fear. The winner of this is 1 step away from the LCS. The loser only has 1 life remaining in the promotion tournament.
And has to face up against NIP and Giants. Giants topped Challenger Series. NIP beat Fnatic last week. Those are not easy opponents to face next week. I want to come back down to this bottom lane, though. We talked a little bit about Janna earlier on when she was banned away, and Norscarin and Upset have discussed her in an interview they did this week. And we said in Picks and Bans, Janna is kind of an Alistar counter. Why exactly is that? How does the matchup play out, Stress?
Well, it's based on the fact that a good Janna player can actually block every single one of the attempts of Alistair. That's what Kasing did against Schalke. Norskeren and Upset were actually surprised by how good Kasing was at doing that. What you do is you use a Tornado, you have Monsoon to block as well, you've got the shield to deny a lot of the damage that comes through. The only real opportunity that Alistair can have is if you Q flash onto the Janna. She can't actually block that very easily. You have to preempt it. And it's something that Norskeren and Upset talked about in that interview. If you're a bad Janna, you're going to get engaged on by the Alistair all the time. I expect Norskeren to be completely aware of that potential.
And Upset is a player as well on this Schalke lineup that we haven't really seen establish himself in this series. He's been consistent, but he hasn't been the player that we say, Upset's going off on the backline, Upset's doing this, and you compare him to like AD carries along the lines of Reckless or even Hiku in the series against Fnatic. They were the guys stepping up and in the late portion of the matchup really making themselves known. We actually see an invade here by Kikis and Amazing onto this red buff. Amazing's had enough of Memento stealing away his buffs. He will get spotted out on this ward.
And of course, Amazing had some assistance coming through the jungle early on. Through the very standard movement. He actually left the large raptor available. Our observers showed us that earlier on Amazing's track back up through the jungle, so it got him to the enemy red buff just that little bit quicker.
Steals it away. Kozku continues to push in Kadril in the middle lane, but Kadril will be happy enough farming underneath his tower. Very even early portion of the matchup. Top lane has been a point of focus for both of these two teams across their splits and across the course of this series. Going this way or that, but meanwhile, Amazing is in the mid lane looking for the twisted advance.
Flash is on.
Seismic shove knocks Kadril back. Flash away, doesn't seem to have the Valkyrie, and Amazing picks up Burst Blood.
That was beautiful.
In the mid lane.
That was a beautiful combination there. The flash twisted advance into the knockback damage follows up. Amazing is able to pick up the kill. And now, keep in mind, Maokai on this patch, where on 716, was nerfed with his early game damage from his saplings, but when the enemy's like 10 health, it doesn't really matter. The anticipated effect of those nerfs is that his early clear isn't quite so easily sustained through. Should have been lower health, but remember, he got the red buff from Memento's jungle, so flash, in goes Amazing. Knockback perfectly in position. Sapling predicts Kadril's flash, in for the first blood. That's beautifully executed by Amazing and Kozku.
Kozku uses the heal at the end of it. Probably didn't need to, but it'll take both of the summoners out from Kadril as he teleports back into the lane. Memento needs to show that he can impact the game on this Gragas as well, because Amazing's already been able to get himself a kill and start that ball rolling. Engage onto Upset. Blade Caller might come out here from Yuki as the stun does land onto Upset, but Yuki gets exhausted and another summoner burnt in the bottom lane in favor of the Mysterious Monkeys.
Yeah, this time Upset and Norska are not quite reading the engage out of Dreams and Yuki, and a lot of damage traded onto Upset from that exchange. Memento will see if he can get some action done. The wave is not under the tower, though, so it's not like Mysterious Monkeys are in that much threat right now. They, of course, no exhaust on the side of Schalke either at the same time.
Memento's only just pinged level 4 as well. Amazing's been level 5 for a long time, almost a 2-level advantage. He is looking down towards this bottom lane, and if he can get something to happen in this bot side of the map, he does put in a lot of work. He
knows that Amazing won't be bot side because there are no camps for him to take. They've got vision control all the way down, but Memento can't spend too much time here. If he sits around bottom lane, he will fall further behind. Two things I want to touch on. First of all, Norskeren opting for that gold build. The second thing I want to touch on is the fact that Amazing is heading up towards the top lane.
Smithy does have flash here. Won't actually have to burn anything to get away from Amazing and Kickers, but they are going to try and push the wave towards his tower. Kozku's on the way as well.
He's level 6.
Has a blast cone. Smitty J's in a world of hurt. No teleport on Kadril. Smitty J tries to jump away. Flashes as well. The Spizek Circle chuck him back. The Hextech ultimatum. And another kill for the Mysterious Monkeys in the top lane. Kikis secures it. Mysterious Monkeys looking as clean as they did in game 2.
Another game where Mysterious Monkeys are taking the early kills in their favor, and they're trying to be active on the map, using amazing camping for Kikis, bringing CosQ up. This time it's only the one exchange in the top lane, but remember, they already got the kill mid lane. They used Kadril's TP from that exchange, and they know there's no way of Schalke actually evening up the numbers. We spoke about the Talia on CosQ, how good it's looked. Well, this time, a flashless Shen, because he just saw him use it, is an easy target for the seismic shove. And again, CosQ looking good on this Talia.
So much of this game now rests on the shoulders of Upset and Kadril. So much, like, basically the entire matchup, the entire way this game plays out is whether Schalke can hold out until Upset is big enough to deal with the Mysterious Monkeys. Ardent Sensor is the rush from Norscaer, and no Sightstone for him. He's going to go straight for that Ardent Sensor.
We've seen this commonly. This is what I was talking about with the gold build, where you put your runes, your yellows, and your quintessences to gold per 5. You get extra gold generation. And you just try and get closer and closer to that Ardent Sensor rush. You actually end up getting... It's about 45 gold extra per minute from the tier 1 coin plus the gold runes as well. So you're just desperately trying to get there. And that's before you start picking up the coins as well on the floor. So you get to Ardent Sensor, you give it over to Upset. He gets attack speed out with these Berserker's Greaves plus the attack speed item on top of it. And you just try and take as many trades as you can. For Kadril, he will get that Ardent Sensor at some times, not all the time, of course, as it's going to be Upset that will have it. There is going to be a lot riding on his shoulders the later this game goes as well. You mentioned it, Corki, later game carry alongside that Tristana is what Schalke are going to need.
Memento focusing down towards the bottom side of the map for the time being. We'll be able to just clear out some vision. There's an Ocean Drake on the card, so a strong early dragon if you can secure it for yourself. Amazing seems to have had Memento's number early on here, though. Still a 2-level advantage for him. Even in the top lane, there's a level advantage for Schalke. Across the board, they're just working slightly better with experience, slightly better with these minion waves. And this is the Schalke, this is the Mysterious Monkeys you really want to see coming into a game 5. Upset once again gets engaged on Norscaer and unable to disengage it properly, has to use the exhaust. Norscaer just slightly behind on those tornadoes.
Yuki and Dreams playing very effectively in what should be a tough matchup. When you look at the Alistar actually being able to engage, we saw Schalke fall to it. But look, again, Mysterious Monkeys invading on the top side. Amazing. This Maokai has been one of his best performing champions this split. One of the only champions he's really been successful on. And you can see why. He's very aggressive, even on what is a tank jungler that a lot of people say just kind of sits back. No, you go aggressive into the lane. You try and get the picks to work for yourself. He's 1-0-1 on the match already.
Attempted 3-man dive up towards the top side, but Smitty J does have the Tiamat, which allows him to clear the wave a little bit quicker, making it harder for you to dive. Memento's come down towards the bottom side, walk straight over a ward, and Mysterious Monkeys will back away from that.
Importantly, Kadril has started to get past the tough point of this game for him in the laning phase. There's going to be an attempted play up on the top side at the same time. Amazing ults early to make sure he can get the stun to lock.
Nature's Grasp, but the Spirit Refuge comes down and that stops all the auto attacks. Smitty J gets rooted, Twisted Advance, Amazing tags the tower, Amazing takes the kill. And they will get first tower blood from this as well. Mysterious Monkeys looking good in game 5.
Yeah, of course, the root comes through from the Nature's Grasp. Able to lock down Smitty J for a second time in this game, and it's almost like Mysterious Monkeys are like, okay, we'll just pick a team-fighting jungler again, we'll pick a split-pushing top laner, and we'll get ourselves an advantageous lane. This time, Smitty J didn't have the Jax, and the Shen will not have the presence to split push and come back into this game that Smitty J has had in the previous games. What it will do, however, is set up Upset or Kadril for a little more success the later this game goes.
Now let's evaluate exactly how the two teams stand against each other right now. 2-2 in score, of course, game 5, the deciding matchup. There's a 2,000 gold lead for the Mysterious Monkeys over Schalke Null Fear, as Schalke have yet to take a tower and are 3 kills down. Now, this is very reminiscent of Game 1, Stress. I believe, in fact, these are the exact numbers we had in Game 1 as well, and it was Schalke who took the win in that one. But it was a very different composition they were running with.
It was also a very different structure of game when we got later on. A very back and forth game was game 1 between Schalke and MM. Only really succeeded for Schalke on a backdoor play, and I think that you can't really rely on, Medic. It's Smitty J won't have the same presence of teleporting into the base quite as much.
I don't know, Shen, just build attack speed, get a Triforce, Stemax gauge, that's all you need, right? That's how it works. He has now got the Ninja Tabbies though. It looks like Kadrill's going up towards that Trinity Force to start us off.
Yeah, and Kadrill, obviously the Trinity Force is at that point where he'll start to have the impact on the game. The laning phase was weakened for Corki on 7-16. We haven't talked about it too much because it hasn't shown too much prominence, but his base AD was actually taken down a little bit. Flash in from Memento.
Onto Coscu, but Amazing's in the right place at the right time. The Nature's Grass comes out. Coscu's low. Memento trying to get the kill. That will be the first kill of the game for Schalke 04 as they look for Amazing as well. Smitty J joins up with the taunt, the knockback with the Bramble Smash. There's the Twisted Advance as well, but eventually Amazing will fall. Triple knockup from Dreams. Kickers is on his way. Mysterious Monkey's trying to react, but there's no AD carry here, so where is the damage? It's all on Kickers as he jumps down on Smitty J, but Schalke 04 able to walk away with all of their lives intact.
Monsoon to get the heal coming through. Dreams wants to go, because look, here comes Yuki.
But the Storm isn't going to do enough work as Kadrill tanks up the tower, and they will be able to get away for the time being.
Yeah, Kickers backs out from that exchange. The Monsoon came out, healed up a little bit of Schalke. It did come before the ultimatum from Kickers, and that was maybe a dangerous time where Smitty J could have ended up falling. So we go back to this engage from Memento. Beautiful engage into the middle lane. Goes over the mines because he's like, we're just getting a kill here, I don't care. Coscu, the old switcheroo with Memento, both displace each other, and it ends up Coscu getting the worst of it. Look at the minigap. Dreams is on his way down. Kikis was thinking about pushing up, but Amazing is too low to actually hold this middle lane, and it looked like Kikis just made the decision to come back into the fight. Says, okay, I have to be involved in this. Both AD carries only now making their way up from the bottom lane because there wasn't a free path to get there. But still, Schalke firing back, closing the gold lead between these two teams once again. And Kadrill now at 2-1-0. Remember, he is going to be one of these later game components for Schalke to look to build their way back into the game.
It's over, Stress.
It's over?
The game is done.
All right.
Here is my stat for the week. In the European LCS, when you build an Ardent Sensor and your opponent does not, you have a 56% chance of winning the game. Schalke 04 have an Ardent Sensor. Mysterious Monkeys do not.
That is very true. Dreams might just build one to spite you.
Hey, if he does that, I will credit him immensely. Strangely enough, it's a 50-50 if both of you build it for a win chance.
Oh, that's surprising, that is.
That's how statistics work.
But to Ardent Sensor, if it had a sentient being, would say 100% win rate.
That it would. Memento does get jumped on by Kickers, knocks him back with the explosive cask as Mysterious Monkeys try and do something, but Memento was willing to ardently censor Kickers' engage there by knocking him out of the Hextech Ultimatum.
That would be a very different item if it was Ardent Sensor.
Ardently Censor. It's just, you cannot use abilities for the next 30 seconds.
No, it would just be like covering things up, you know, protecting the ears of the children.
Every voice line just becomes
that.
one of those bleep tracks.
Yeah, exactly.
But the importance of this game cannot be understated, Stress, and the importance of my puns cannot be understated as well. Schalke 04 have been able to close that gold differential, only at 800 in favor of the Mysterious Monkeys now, when it was 2,000 at the 15-minute mark. Schalke are going to start up the Ocean Drake, looking to see if Mysterious Monkeys react.
Yeah, Schalke committing onto this easily enough to take down for them because, look, Kikis was pushing on the top side. He doesn't want to commit on the bottom side. Anything for Mysterious Monkeys. Ocean Drake is a decent Drake for this early and mid-game portion. We are past the 15 minutes, so we're out of the early game right now. So we'll give Schalke a little bit of that regen in between fights, the ability to step up to towers maybe. The next play, though, is going to be Mysterious Monkeys with that Rift Herald. They have had one expire on them this series already, as Kickers died with it and ended up falling in a 1-1 to Smitty J a couple of games ago. But it is not on Kickers this time. It is on Amazing, so maybe this one will get used, because the positive side of their Rift Herald plays was Amazing using it alongside the Talia wall with Coscu to go aggressive into the mid lane tower, take it down and push for a tower advantage. And Mysterious Monkeys had that opportunity again.
That they do, and that's been one of the big positives of them playing throughout the course of this series, is we've seen their ability to make these set plays, to develop as a team a little bit more, to have Yuki and Kozq step up to the plate and amazingly Kikis facilitate them rather than be the solo carriers. Now, Kikis on Camille is much more of a carry than he has been across the course of the series, and I'd like to see him now settling into this side lane. He seems to be rolling down quite a lot, looking for these engages, but I wonder if there's a point at which he just needs to farm up a little bit more and get himself to a position where Smitty cannot respond.
I think Kikis would argue with you, Medic. I think he'd say my Jarvan was a carry. I got every fight. I jumped on people. We got like 8 kills. Everything would be great. Kikis, always one to try and carry. Always likes to play the carry style matchups. The same with Smitty J. This was our narrative coming into the day. Is both very similar players. Both have a similar play style. I wonder whether Smitty J being on Shen hamstrings that today. Really, in Europe, only one player has had that Shen emphasis, and that's Vizicachi. Seems to be able to carry on Shen, whereas Smitty J is going to have to struggle to get back into this game. Rift Herald was spawned towards the mid lane. This was what we expected to see out of Mysterious Monkeys. It's already crashed into the tower. Tower goes down. Mysterious Monkeys, again, another game. Clean Rift Herald.
And this is something we've seen more from Mysterious Monkeys than I expected. They are getting more towers early on than Schalke are, and Schalke are struggling to get towers before the 20-minute mark at times. They are going to look down towards this bottom lane as Upset, Memento, and Norskeren are able to defend. They tried to catch someone out, weren't able to do it, but because it's only a Shen split pushing, it doesn't really matter if you give him some time free farming up towards the top lane.
Yeah, Camille will have enough time to recall and run to the top lane. Doesn't even need to TP there because Smitty J not able to push up. Of course, Tiamat build does allow Smitty J to push, but look, the tower's full health. No real way of Smitty J dealing enough damage, especially without a tower of his own. He knows roughly how close Kikis is to being in that defensive posture. Smitty J has to back away. Even his knee up around his chest, kind of like hand on his head, you could see in the profile picture, almost as if he doesn't like playing Shen. Now, I know sometimes we see a lot of the Schalke players sat like that on their chairs. Maybe that's just their preferred playing position, but I feel like the Shen is part of that, where he's a little bored.
I think it's definitely a contributing factor. We've seen Soaz in similar positions across the course of games when he is not enjoying that champion too much. However, Schalke do manage to get a tower and keep that gold lead. Just a minuscule amount between these two teams. Infernal Dragon is the next Drake to spawn. Schalke already have the Ocean. They will try and make it a little bit of a steamy combination as we get towards the middle portion of this game. And in Picks and Bans, we talked about when these teams spike and when they get to these power points, and Mysterious Monkeys seem to have a stronger mid-game than perhaps Schalke do, where Schalke are looking to get towards a later game AD carry position.
We'll see whether we can get to those presentations a little bit later on the PowerPoints, see if we have to do one with some graphs to see who came out ahead.
I excel at PowerPoint stress.
Well, you better have some words.
That's just going to get jumped on as here comes the Hexa Ultimatum as well from the Mysterious Monkeys, but Norskeren with a great knockback. Cadril joins the fight with the TP, and the Mysterious Monkeys disengage the fray.
Yeah, disengage comes through. The outlook didn't look great for Mysterious Monkeys as they went aggressively into the fight. Yeah, you know, mid-2000s email references.
Outlook.
Yeah,
the
exactly.
outlook for this game for both of the teams is pretty strong. Hope you enjoyed those words. Now, Mysterious Monkeys do get the teleport out from Cadril, but they burn both the flash and the heal on Kozq stress.
They did. You know, if you repeat the puns, it makes it worse. Okay, Medic, let's get down to business to defeat the puns and just get on with this game. Mysterious Monkeys, Schalke. It's a very serious game because the winner goes to the winner's bracket of the promotion tournament. We saw the attempted engage there. Mysterious Monkeys had to use a couple of summoners to come from that. Kozq doesn't have his flash available, but has been doing a great job on this Talia. The third game looking very, very solid.
And we were surprised not to see it banned out in Picks and Bans. It's been something he's played across the course of the split once or twice. In fact, 3 times. Has yet to win on it in the regular split, but perhaps that shows that caliber of opposition, the difference that we were talking about. Because it's not just the mid laner you're playing against as a mid laner. You're playing against the jungle. You're playing against when their bot lane decides to rotate up. You're playing against when their top lane decides to come down. And Schalke, as a team in Challenger Series, looks coordinated, but haven't looked as strong facing up against the Mysterious Monkeys.
That's true. Now, this is a different playstyle out of Schalke than the previous games in this series particular, but a little bit closer to maybe what we were expecting out of Schalke, where they're piling a lot on Upset's shoulders, Cadril shoulders later on in the game. But Kozq, maybe they've caught him no flash, remember, but they don't want to commit. this playstyle with the Shen, with the Tristana, the Corki, still has a lot of bite at the end of this game. And if they get the Infernal Drake, that just adds to that presence.
No stand united for Smitty J. He is in the fight. It's going to be a 5v5 brawl in
on the bottom
jungle.
Splits up Schalke.
Splits them up, and there's the taunt, and there's Coscu knocked back. Already Mysterious Monkeys lose one. Kick is going to get taken out for the double, as well as Kadril comes up big in the fight in the river.
Yeah, it looked like Coscu was trying to just split Schalke right down the middle, but the problem is they have a lot of mobility. Kadril, Upset, can actually just bypass the wall. Norskeren is able to just shield people over the wall, and they're actually able to get kills. Mysterious Monkeys, I believe they're anticipating a Schalke Baron play here, so trying to catch them on the way up to the Baron. But look, this is Maokai, this is an Alistair. All they can do is just secure vision control. Now, Schalke have lost Barons like this if they were to go for it. Yeah,
they're not going to do it.
So, good. It looks to be a good engagement from Coscu, but in comes Shen, in comes Kadril. Everybody just collapses on Coscu, takes him out. Kikis is dead as well. Down go two of the carries for Mysterious Monkeys. Coscu wasn't able to get too much more.
I think the reason we're zooming in is I'm wondering why he rode the wall. Because you can choose to ride the wall. And if he just stood back, he was in a bush that wasn't warded, you put the wall out, you split the team. Either you force them to engage over it or you force them to disengage. Perhaps a little bit of on-stage nerves playing into that.
Perhaps, of course, it's a split-second decision that you have to make there. That's what you're talking about now. If you ride the wall and get hit by anybody, you get knocked off the wall at that point, and that's where you end up getting that damage that comes through onto Coscu, ends up killing him. He ended up on the wrong side of the wall at one point. Unfortunately for him, while all walls must fall, it isn't quite as quick as he would have liked, and it's Coscu that ends up dying from that exchange.
He needs to play a little bit more Tony Hawk if he wants to get his wall of rides perfect. That's a gaming series I miss. That was a superb series of games. Pro Skater 2 was one of my favorites.
Churned them out quite quickly, though.
But they were great.
Yeah.
You know what else is a great game, Stress? League of Legends.
I was going to say, is it this one?
This game in particular, Game 5 of a best of 5. We've had Silver Scrapes play, and now it's all up to the teams to strut their stuff on Summoner's Rift. Kadril, we said at the end of the last game that he needed to be a carry. He needed to step up. He got his favorite champion, Corki, and now he is 4-1. Rapid Fire Cannon completed. Trinity Force completed. They are looking in a very strong position as a lineup.
Yeah, Schalke certainly building back into this matchup, and a couple of awkward engages out from MM have delayed any kind of focus on moving forward for MM themselves. Schalke being able to contend with them. Bramble Vest has now come out. Will start doing a bit of work against Kikis and his trading potential, against Yuki, even against any healing. If Amazing were to try and use that Sap Magic passive on Smitty J, it would actually apply the Grievous Wounds back to himself. So at that point, I wonder how this will end up playing out, because Smitty J, we said he'll have less impact in the side lane. He'll have more impact keeping Upset alive. And Upset is yet to die, getting closer to 3 items. Ardent Sensor has been completed for a long time now, and that gives him a lot of additional stats. Because remember, it's the Ardent Sensor plus the Janna, extra AD, the shield, everything goes into it. The attack speed, everything is really good synergy with Tristana, Janna, Ardent Sensor.
The issue, I think, for Schalke 04 will be actually engaging the fights, because they really only have the Gragas engage to force a fight to happen, or Shen flash taunting in, whereas Mysterious Monkeys, conversely, you've got Alistair, you've got the Wall, you've got Amazing flashing in, you've got Kikis diving the backline. There are all of these opportunities to actually force a fight in your favor, and you can see they think that they can win a fight at the moment because they have so much vision control around this Baron. Control ward after control ward, basically nothing in favor of Schalke 04.
Smitty J has even opted for the Thorn Mail here. Of course, he can already reduce a lot of the damage in fights using that Twilight Shroud, using that ability. Now, Upset uses a jump forward, trying to close the gap. Look, Xayah was up in the top side, spotted on a ward. Very tense moment here, because the next fight is really going to open this game up. Smitty J knows with teleport, with ultimate available, he can sit bot side. They can move forward more aggressively, but do Schalke want to push in? Memento goes in.
Straight onto Coscu. Kadril with the flank. The Nature's Grass comes out. Norskeren pops the Monsoon. Here's the taunt over by into the Valkyrie. The knockback. Upset is amazing as he kills the Maokai. Memento kills Dreams as well, and Coscu and Yuki are running for the hills. However, they have a lot of damage and there are low health bars on Schalke.
That was a different setup to the fight than we were expecting. Memento just walking through the fight, trying to push any advantage. In came Smitty J with the Stand United, but we're still in this moment here. Teleport coming through from Kadril and from Smitty J. If they can catch Kosku, they're just looking for the Baron here.
Good blast cone from Kosku to keep himself safe, but Kikis now wants to join the fight. There is so much damage from Kosku and from Yuki. If they can get in here, there's a flash for Kosku.
But they've healed up. The Ocean Drake has started to take an effect, and now the numbers disadvantage. That's a good rocket from Kadril.
Kadril doing work. There's the Baron. Goes to Schalke no Fear, and they will be able to get out. Is this the moment they won this best of 5? Is this the moment they took that one step closer to the LCS?
Well, when we take a look back at that team fight, you'll see how much actually connected from Schalke. Stand United onto Memento as he engaged. We said it was going to be to save upset, but look, they get the engage through. Stand United finally arrives. The Monsoon kept them back. Tornado through 4. Shentorn through at least 3, maybe 4 on that exchange, and they put them low enough through that, plus the package for upset to just get autos out, get the first 2 kills of this fight for Schalke no Fear, and that gave them the advantage to head for that Baron, and they seem to be in full control. Schalke, this is the advantage they were looking for to get one foot in the door to the EU LCS once again.
28 minutes in, they are now 4,000 gold ahead. There is an Infernal Drake, and they are running for it as Kickers perhaps will start it off straight away. This would be a big Inferno for Mysterious Monkeys to take, because it is against the run of play. Kickers has started it. Memento is just around the corner. Yet to die this game as well, but having a great Gragas.
Very slow,
Kickers
though.
Probably going to have to jump the wall here, because Memento has Smite. Should be able to secure this one. And Schalke no Fear, 2 Infernals, an Ocean, a Baron, and perhaps the series.
Yeah, just handing the second Infernal over to Kickers. He was trying to just rush it down. It looks like Mysterious Monkeys are trying to get anything to work for themselves. But look, Schalke as a unit, we told at the beginning of the broadcast that team fighting was something Schalke were particularly good at. And finally, we're seeing a composition out of them that is more oriented towards that. Upset in a fantastic position up in CS, has the kills. Kadril up in CS by a minor amount, but 4 kills to his name. They've finally been able to put Kosku in a situation where this Talia hasn't worked out as well. Although it still looked good, it hasn't been enough to keep Mysterious Monkeys afloat.
Schalke still have a long way to go, though. They're not back with the explosive cast because Memento's on the front line. There is the tower falling. Amazing has to flash away. Dreams getting caught up by the Tristana. The Redemption comes out to heal up Schalke. However, here comes the Weaver's Ward to try and separate them. Kadril will just jump across it with the Valkyrie, and there's a big minion wave in top for Schalke to rotate to.
Yeah, there's the mobility coming out that we've already seen in this game from Schalke, just jumping the wall. Now they push on towards the top tower. Kikis, he's headed for a red buff. This is the minor thing that he can pick up from this situation, desperately just trying to have anything come from the map to him, but they're going to lose an inhibitor tower from it. Mysterious Monkeys are not able to hold on because Schalke are relentless on their push into the base.
He said it in game 1, once they get a grip on the game, they do not let up for anyone. Now, they break an inhibitor line, they are 7,000 gold ahead, and they can even look for more. They've still got 40 seconds on this Baron if they want to look perhaps towards the mid lane for a push.
At this point, Empowered Recall is enough to get them back to the base, quickly reset, because everybody on the team has at least 1,000 gold just looking for the next items, but they're going to reset. They're going to go for the mid lane push here as well with the last 20 seconds of this buff. Maybe a little bit dangerous, but look, they've already killed Amazing.
Smitty jumps on Amazing. There is the kill. Kikis on the flank, but just can't get the engage, and Schalke are relentless. They are unstoppable as Yuki goes down to 300 HP. Mysterious Monkeys eventually will be able to hold off this push, but not before Schalke get an 8,000 gold advantage.
We talked about Gragas and Janna being the disengage focus on the team. Well, that hasn't been how Schalke have played this out. It's been about engaging and protecting the rest of the comp. Now, Smitty J has to face off Kikis, but the rest of the team are trying to get into the base again. Baron buff has expired. Schalke will turn and try and take out Kikis. And remember, they still have to go back and recall, but they are so far ahead in this game, they want to try and end it as fast as possible. But look, now they take a breather. They head back and try to maintain the lead that they have.
And what a lead it is. It all exploded, and this is Amazing just thinking he's more tanky than he actually is.
Yeah, Amazing tries to get that fight to work. Didn't even get the ultimate off. He didn't have the flash available. We're back into the live action as that was pretty much the end of that fight. But look, Gargoyles don't play. Gargoyle Stoneplate on the side of Smitty J and Memento. That's so much to chunk through for Mysterious Monkeys. That you have to feel there's maybe one fight left before Schalke end this game.
The Mysterious Monkeys do have the damage in the fights. We saw it at the Baron fight. Kozku and Yuki were putting out the deeps, but when you're playing against a 3-item AD carry in the form of Upset and a 3-item, almost 4-item mid laner in the form of Kadril, that damage is gonna hurt your front line.
Especially when Norskaren's like, here, have Ardent Sense. It's basically an item for you anyway.
And have Mikhails, and have Redemption, and have all the assistance you need. This perhaps will be the last hold for the Mysterious Monkeys. Kick is caught out with the Weaver's Wall. Smitty J on that front line as Schalke take one tower and just start to eke their way back ever so slightly. Dreams gets chunked out. Memento flashes in. Kozku knocked back and he's dead. An unstoppable Kadril's Kickers jumps onto the backline. The final hope perhaps for the Mysterious Monkeys in this series. The GA pop. Memento jumps back. Kickers gonna fall as soon as he respawns. Actually manages to jump across the wall, but Upset is having none of that. It's another kill for Kadril. 6-1-3, and perhaps this is Schalke closing out the game.
Yeah, they're gonna TP through to the top side, push the minion wave through. Schalke know that this game is theirs. They are one step away from making it back into the LCS.
They fell at the first hurdle in Spring Split, and now they have jumped over the first two in a 3-hurdle race. Schalke Null Fear take one step closer to the LCS as they defeat Mysterious Monkeys 3-2.
Cries of elation out of Norskaren and the rest of the Schalke lineup. This means so much to them to get past the two obstacles so far that have kind of reared their head. Spring Split is a very faded memory now for Schalke because they're in an absolutely brilliant position to get their way back into the LCS. It's been a year since they were there.
A long, long time. Mysterious Monkeys, on the other hand, will be thinking about next week. They'll be assessing the damage from this series, wondering how they need to change things up. There's not too many tweaks. You had a good series. You won 2 games. You took out Schalke Null Fear, who are regarded as, well, they are obviously one of the best teams in Challenger, perhaps the best team in the Challenger series at the moment. And it's not too difficult to see how Mysterious Monkeys get back into the LCS.
There's a couple of plays, though, that will plague them. The Baron calls in a couple of times, but on the other side, this 5th game was more of what we expected out of Schalke. Team play, team fights that went in their way, and Schalke played them beautifully. A lot of the times, that one where Memento went in on the mid lane, got the multi-person taunt from Smitty J and from Norskaren with the Tornado as well. Both teams played well, and both teams showed us signs of why a lot of people pinned them to get into the LCS. But at the end of the day, Schalke in the last game just looked that bit stronger.
And that is a hallmark of them as a team. They beat Giants in the Challenger Series, the other team that's come up into this promotion tournament, and they are consistently relentless. When they get a lead, they are unwilling to let it go. They are unstoppable. We saw that in this game. All it took was a single fight, and from then on, it looked incredibly bleak for the Mysterious Monkeys. The winner of this, Schalke Null Fear, will face up against the winner of NIP and, I almost called them Fnatic Academy, it's Giants.
Giants.
And Giants next week. That is going to be an incredible series. And tomorrow, of course, we have NIP facing up against Giants. That is going to be amazing as well.
Yeah, it's going to be a really hype series. In fact, all 4 teams in the promotion tournament, perhaps some of the strongest we've ever had in promotion. I think that's one of the real fun things about the promotion of 2018 Spring.
That it is. We're going to show you as well exactly what I'm talking about to make sure that you understand it. And it's not just me rattling off words at you. As you can see, Schalke beat Mysterious Monkeys today. They go through to the winner matchup next week. And NIP face up against Giants tomorrow.
Of course, it is double elimination. So nobody is in the LCS yet. You have a second life if you lost today from Mysterious Monkeys. Schalke 1 series win away from that LCS spot.
The closest they have been in a year, as you say, Stress, and the closest Mysterious Monkeys have been to Challenger Series in about 4 months as well after they came up through it. It's a game of inches, and I think this series really exemplifies that, because both teams had such clean games. In Game 2 and Game 3, it was dominant performances, and then after that, it was just incredibly close between the two of them.
Yeah, it was. As you said, both teams having strong games. I think Mysterious Monkeys showing a playstyle that seemed more effective for them when they're going aggressive with the Javans, the Gragas, the Sejuanis, that type of pick where you have Amazing and Kikis actually dictating the pace of the game. And they did attempt that in the last game. It just didn't quite find the footing against the team composition that Schalke brought with the team play. Schalke are actually showing maybe a little bit more versatility in this series. We saw some laning advantages. We saw a little bit of extra team fight presence in that last game.
And Amazing just sitting there by himself at the moment. We actually saw him do this during the H2K series as well. Obviously, feels a lot of weight on his shoulders for this team. He is a strong shot caller, one of the leaders of the team, one of the veterans alongside Kikis. It is a difficult road to walk, this promotion tournament.
Yeah, a moment of reflection. Heading, of course, into next week's series for Mysterious Monkeys. We just looked at the bracket. That's where they will be playing next. It is not all over for them. We have seen teams go to the lower bracket and make their way back through, but certainly a tough series. But I think it's Schalke right now that will be having their heads held high, because they're only one win away, Medic.
There they are. They're just one series away from a spot in the European LCS Spring Split in 2018. That would do it from us in Berlin. Thank you very much for casting with me, Stress.
Thank you. Sorry, I was wondering what
Thank you very much for watching everyone at home. Have a magnificent night, and make sure you join us back here tomorrow at 5 p.m. CEST for Ninjas in Pyjamas versus Giants.